respect, bitch. The fuck you think this is? How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and behind me is a 2017 Audi R8 V10. And it is a beast of a car. Now, this car was loaned to me by Eric from Voodoo Design. He's the guy that made the McLaren exhaust, and boy does he have plans for this Audi R8 right here. Right now it is completely bone stock, but in the near future, and I'm talking real near, this car is getting the works. We're talking twin turbos, full suspension, full brakes, seats, roll cage, everything. This car is going to have all the bells and whistles you can ever ask for in a track car. Before he does all that, I asked him very politely to toss me the keys so I could see just how good these cars are stock and see how much more he can improve it with all of his mods. So today we're taking this absolute beast to the canyon. Of course, there's no better place to test a all-wheel drive V10 supercar than in a tight, nimble canyon. The same canyon we tested his 570 out at. So we can do a little 12C/570/R8 comparison. And at the end, I'll tell you guys personally which one I think I would take. It's got a couple cool packages on it. It has a lot of carbon all around the car, including the external ducts, and the carbon even follows it into the engine bay and the interior. We have just carbon literally scattered throughout this whole car, and in my opinion, it's just the perfect amount. Not overdone. However, I do think they should have put carbon paddles in this car. The plastic paddles do feel cheap after a day of driving it. It's just one thing where it just feels like a Chevy Malibu paddle. It doesn't feel all that special. It is really crisp and does have a really short throw, but as for a paddle, I wish they either went with something like the McLaren that has magnesium paddles, or just some straight aluminum or carbon fiber would do just well. Since this car is completely stock, the exhaust has not been touched. Nothing on this car has been touched. Stock ride height, stock exhaust, probably stock tires that it shipped with off of the dealership floor. So it's going to be a true bare bones comparison of how these cars came right off the lot. The interior does manage to feel rather luxurious. It is an Audi at the end of the day, so it's kind of what you expect, but it's a lot more comfortable than I would say most supercars. Exterior wise, I've always liked these cars. They're just a very low-key looking supercar, not super in your face like its brother, the Huracan. So if you want something that is pretty much a Huracan, but not as douchebaggy, this is definitely the car for you. Now, before I got the McLaren, the R8 was definitely on my list of a car to check out. I probably wouldn't have been able to afford a second gen at the time, but a first gen R8 was definitely in the ballpark. So this will be a nice little video in order to see kind of what I might have missed out on. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll just pick one up because it is a pretty sweet car. I mean, in its stock form, it's sweet. I can only imagine when Voodoo does their work, I think it's going to blow my mind, and the McLaren might go up for sale. We'll see. We'll see. And also, if you squint enough, it's kind of like a baby Bugatti. So either way, it's a win. Okay, so really quickly before we start driving, climbing into the interior, I just want to show you guys a couple of its weird quirks and interesting features. First things first, this is pretty well known, but the start and stop button is on the steering wheel. I really like that. It does feel really cool to press, and it just has like a nice satisfying pressure. Feels like almost like an arcade button. Like it's, I don't know, it's just satisfying. There's no other way I can explain it. But yeah, there's no center console, so there's no radio screen. All you have right here are your AC controls, which are just nice and organized, really easy for you to understand. You have fan speed, you have temperature, and you have where you want it to go. Pretty straightforward. You do get a nice Alcantara headliner with some diamond stitching, which I really like. One thing I do not like, these mirrors. One, they're tiny, which is pretty common. My McLaren mirrors are really small. But two, they have a mirror on them, which is something my McLaren mirrors don't have, but they fold the wrong way, so you always see the stupid mirror. Like, I feel like that's just ugly. I know it's such a small, minor thing, but like, it just looks dumb in my opinion, because you'll always see the mirror while driving, which is kind of stupid. What they should have done is had an Alcantara cover that was magnetically just like held up. And then if you pulled it down, you release the magnet, and then you have this little flap of Alcantara just dangling. That's what I would have done, but you know, Audi, give me a call if you want next time. The seats are really comfortable. You could probably go cross country in these seats any day of the week. However, the limited legroom, not the most pleasant. Also, let me know what you guys think about the red. I think the red and the gray works. However, with his vision, and I'm not going to spoil it, I don't think the red will work. He knows the red won't work, so these are going to get reworked as well. But yeah, before we go, let's get a quick little startup. And let's see how the exhaust sounds. Sounds alright for stock, but I already know how much better it's going to sound once Voodoo straps on the twins and does their custom exhaust. It's going to sound and look way better. All right, finally, let's go. The downshifts are so quick. This is a really tight canyon. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I am gonna have fun. Just need to get a feel for the car first before I do anything dumb. It's super nimble. Like, it feels way more nimble than my McLaren. Way more nimble. The other lane and that lady flipped me off. Fuck that, I'll flip you off back, bitch. The fuck you think this is? Like, if I see people, I slow down. I'm not being stupid here. I don't cross lanes. I don't do anything wrong. Lady's mad that she's just not in a supercar. Sorry, lady. Sorry you're walking. I don't like being toxic, but if you're gonna flip me off, I feel like I did the nice thing too by going to the completely other side. But I guess that's not enough for some people. All right. Now I usually don't go down this way because I don't like the houses, so I'm not gonna drive too crazy here. It's not worth it. This is more like a Sunday drive right here. Well, I mean, we'll still have fun, but we're not gonna really push it. We're just gonna have some fun cruising down. It felt really good. On the other side of the canyon, I'm kind of in a bad mood because that lady flipped me off. I feel like I did the right thing. I went on the other side. I gave them plenty of room, knowing, hey, I see you guys. You know, I'm aware. I got plenty of visibility. And she flipped me off. What the fuck is that about? What a rude person. She should have gave me a thumbs up. She should have said, hey, yeah, nice car. God, it's so beautiful out today. It's a great day. Hopefully the GoPro can capture that. I need to upgrade GoPros for sure, but look at that. It's a beautiful day out. And then that lady is just full of hatred. Hope she saw the GoPro. Hopefully the GoPro saw her. God, look how nimble it is, dude. Wherever you point the wheel, it just goes. It just goes. This car is super impressive. Like, it feels so planted. I haven't heard the tires screech once. I just took my McLaren to Angeles Crest, and it's a bigger canyon, and I was pushing it hard as fuck. And to be fair, that car, I didn't hear its tires screech either. But this thing is just, it's like it's on rails. Not only does it feel like it's on rails, but it's just like so comfortable too. It's like super relaxing. Like, at a moment's notice, you can go crazy. You don't have to. Like, you see, I'm chilling. I see the biker. I'm not doing nothing stupid. But at a moment's notice, if I want to, I can just fucking woo, get right up in the RPM. Instant torque from the V10. It's a really impressive car. It's really impressive. Sounds really nice, too. I know I was talking to shit about how it sounded earlier, but that's just because I know it could sound better. It sounds good, but you want more. You want that throat. Oh, okay, well, not like that. You want that throaty sound is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you might want that throat too, but you want that throaty sound. It feels really nice. So now that we got the fun canyon stuff out of the way, let's rewind and go back to when I first picked up the car, and let's see what my first impressions were of it let's see my first impressions of the acceleration, the exhaust now, and pretty much everything. This will hopefully answer some questions if you're thinking if this is a good daily driver for you. I bet right now you're between R8 and Honda Accord, but maybe this might persuade you. All right, so I just left Voodoo. I just picked up their R8. And first impressions, one, it is super luxurious in here. Like, it's a 2017. It feels real fresh, real modern on the interior. Way different than my McLaren. My McLaren, I mean, it's a 2012. It's obviously gonna be more dated, but the interior of this car is just, I mean, this is like a luxury supercar. You got a full digital display. You have some nice stylistic climate controls. I mean, you have super comfortable seats. And then you have the performance. Oh my God, to really get on it. I've never driven an all-wheel drive supercar, so this is definitely gonna be my first time. Actually, I mean, I dare I say I drove an R35, but I wouldn't call it a supercar. This is a supercar. I mean, this is oh my God. Okay. Okay. I wish my Mustang would hook up like that. Oh my God. The McLaren that I have hooks up pretty good. Definitely could do better, and it's definitely, oh, watch out, buddy. Excuse me, lady, use a turn signal next time. Fucking dork. Anyways, yeah, my McLaren hooks up pretty good, but it definitely doesn't feel like that. That is fucking insane. I like how it gives you a percentage readout of power and torque. That's nice to know. But that acceleration caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting quick, but for a stock R8, I wasn't expecting that. That was impressive. I kind of want to see how she'll feel from a roll, like maybe like a 60 roll. Let's give her a little downshift, you know. Not familiar with this gearbox yet. There's third gear. Okay. So its strong suit, I would say, is definitely like launches, which makes sense. It's an all-wheel drive V10. You're gonna have that instant torque. It's a lot more fun, I would think, on city driving. I'm just saying this in regards to my McLaren. My McLaren on the highway, twin turbo V8, little just missile just flying down the highway. Now with what they're gonna do to this car, it's gonna completely change that. We're talking about it in its stock form right now. Haven't even rolled down the windows to hear the beautiful V10. This as stock as it could be. And I could just imagine, like, if this was a daily, which in my opinion it's the most dailyable supercar, if this was a daily, I think I'd have a lot of fun, you know, taking off from the light each time. Like, it's a super fun feeling. It's super relaxed in here too. Like, you forget you're driving a supercar. You got great visibility, really comfortable, like I said, super modern. It feels nice in here, you know, like you're just comfortable. At the end of the day, you're driving an Audi, and it feels like a really refined German car. Now, I was talking to Eric before I left the shop, and he said, and I thought he was crazy at first, that he would get an R8 over a Huracan. And I was like, really? Like, over a Huracan? I mean, it's like the same thing, but you get the cooler version of it. And he's like, no, way more comfortable, way better visibility, and you get the same shit. He said it a little bit more well put together than how I just laid it out, but you get what I'm saying. And I mean, after literally driving this car for 5 minutes, like, I kind of get it. If I was in a less comfortable position, if I was in a less than ideal position, I would still be having fun, don't get me wrong, but this is more of like a low-key type flex. Like, this isn't like a, hey, look at me, I'm a douchebag. This is more of like a fuck around and find out type shit, especially when he gets his twin turbo kit and all the other mods Voodoo and Navarro's gonna cook up. It's gonna be a monster. But enough yapping, let's have some fun, yeah? Ooh, it sounds so good. For a stock car, it sounds so good. God, it's so fast. Like, it is really fast. I have a warped perception of speed. Let me make that clear. I have a 1,000 horsepower Supra, I have a 1,000 horsepower Mustang, and I have like a 600 to 700 horsepower McLaren. So for a stock car to be like Wow, that's actually really quick. Like that's pretty, it's impressive to say the least. I'm not trying to glaze the R8, but like it's a fun driving car. The one thing that I will say that differentiates this car from the rest is I'm low-key more excited for when I get onto the street. I want to leave the stoplights going kind of quick. Legal, but quick. Let's see, let's give her a little beans. Woo! That instant torque. The torque is just instant. It feels way different than like the McLaren's power delivery. On that one, you do have a little bit of turbo lag, very minimal. But with this, the moment you hit the gas, you feel yourself press into the seat. And I don't know, there's just something about driving like a higher displacement in a vehicle, having that nice instant torque, especially with like usable power. It is just like, it is a really fun driving experience. I feel like a lot of older Japanese cars get that like acknowledgement of like, I don't know, having a super driver oriented cockpit or car. But I feel like there's a lot of modern cars that do it, and this seems to be like one of them. Like everything is angled towards me. Passenger, you get to stare at the badge and you get to look out the fucking window and have a good time. That's it. You don't get to touch the climate controls. These are angled towards me. You get to keep your little paws to yourself. Ooh, let's see this. Yeah, let's have some fun right here. Ooh. Oh my God. Wow, it just ate into the corner. Just fucking dug its fucking tires in. It just ate. It's super responsive. I almost feel like it's a lot. It's definitely more nimble, I think, than the 12C. It's definitely more nimble. I'm sorry if I'm just comparing it to the 12C a lot, but I mean, that's like a car that I have a lot of seat time in, so it kind of makes sense. God, it is super nimble though. Like I almost felt like I cut the corner a little tight because of just how tight the steering is. Like, look at that. It's so tight. I'm wiggling right now and I'm barely moving the steering wheel. It's really impressive. To answer a couple questions, could I see myself daily driving this car? Let's say you're in the market for Audi R8. Let's say you're a doctor and you want to know if you could daily drive this car to your doctor job. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. The Lamborghini might be a little bit much. This, I don't think you'll have any problem, any discomfort driving this. I think you'll have a good time. I want to roll down the windows a little bit. Can't hear the exhaust at all. Can't hear it. Voodoo, you gotta fix that. Car's a lemon. You can't hear the exhaust. What's the point? If you're gonna buy an Audi R8, you gotta put an exhaust on it, because that sounded like a goddamn Dyson, maybe a Swiffer wet jet. Just a little. It sounds better with the windows up, definitely. Uh-oh. Sayonara, officer. I wasn't doing anything illegal. In the Audi? Me? No, this is just the daily. If I was in a Lamborghini, I would have got pulled over. The Audi though, I'm just late for my doctor shift. I'm a doctor. I've got class. Downshifts do sound kind of crispy though. Like I really do like the blips that it does. It's got some real nice blips. If only it had a Voodoo exhaust on it though. I guess we'll have to wait a couple weeks until they completely transform the car, and then we'll just see how much better it sounds. I mean, there'll be a little bit of spooling in there too, but I ain't gonna complain about that. I ain't one to complain about no spooling noises. Like, listen to this downshift. Woo! Got a little bang and pop too. So while Drew keeps yapping in the background to himself, let me wrap up this video really quick. 1, I like it. It's a really fun supercar. I like how low-key it is. I like how fun it is. I like the responsiveness of the V10. It's a really fun supercar. However, For it being a supercar, it definitely needs a Voodoo exhaust. If your supercar doesn't have a Voodoo exhaust, there's something wrong there, okay? Don't even consider it a supercar at that point, because it definitely doesn't sound like one. Once Voodoo and Navarro Motorsports transforms this R8, we're going to do another video, and I'm going to show you guys just how much better they made the vehicle. Now, let me mention some things I don't like really quick. The legroom. The legroom is pretty bad. I mean, I'm 6 foot. And I mean, my knees and my balls, I don't know if I just have larger balls than most, but it was pretty rough. I had to keep crossing my legs. But then when you cross your legs, your leg is hitting the door panel. It's just not a comfortable legroom area. Maybe if I do one of those trendy surgeries, maybe then I could go ahead and drive the car comfortably. But yeah, as for now, it was a little uncomfortable in the legroom area. The rest of the car was absolutely comfortable. And two, the paddles. I already mentioned them. Paddles feel plasticky. Not a super big fan of that. I don't know if there's a package that upgrades paddles. There probably is, because I believe that's what my McLaren has. It has the upgraded magnesium paddles. So it might not be every R8, but look for some better paddles or something. I mean, like they just feel kind of cheap, and it's, you know, that's your contact point with the engine, the transmission, and everything. You want it to feel a little bit nicer. But that's like my only two complaints. Let me see if I have any other complaints in my notes tab. Oh, last complaint I wrote down was noisy brakes. The brakes were rather noisy. It's common for sports vehicles, but these in particular did seem noisier than usual. So with Voodoo replacing the whole braking system, we'll see if that sticks around or if it's just something with OEM pads or whatever. So definitely none of those are deal breakers by any means. This car is amazing, super fun, and I can't wait to see what Voodoo does to it. Big thank you to Voodoo and Navarro for letting me borrow their car for the day. Had a blast. Can't wait to have some more fun with it when it's complete. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know down below. Go check out Voodoo and Navarro if you guys haven't already, especially if you're in the market for some supercar parts or work done on your supercars. Check them out. I will link their IGs and their websites down below. Subscribe, and until next video, peace.